when you first get into cycling, it can be quite daunting. Lots of new skills to learn. So we thought we'd narrow it down to just 5 skills we think that are important for you cyclists to know. So let's get into it. The very first skill we think is important for you cyclists to learn is being able to look behind you quickly whilst keeping a straight line on the bike. Now this is important for many reasons. If you need to turn off the road and you need to look to see if there's cars coming behind you, for example, or if you're riding in a group, there's lots of situations where you might need to use this skill. I don't think I'm alone when saying this, but I have gone to look over my shoulder to see what's behind me, then I've turned back around and I've drifted out into the middle of the road. Well, I hope it's not only me that's done that before, but if this is like you and you've done this, then we need to take it back to basics and practice. So we recommend doing this in a quiet car park or a park somewhere where it's fairly quiet. You want to sit on your bike static with your hands on your hoods, look straight, and then just take your chin to your shoulder and back again. But when doing this, you want to make sure that your shoulders stay in the same position and your core. But if you do turn around and you move your shoulders, that's how your bike moves out into the middle of the road. So you want to keep everything nice and still. So once you've practiced that, let's try doing it moving. Follow exactly the same steps as you did when you were static, but get up to a speed you feel comfortable with. Make sure you've got enough room either side of you in case you do drift out, and then a quick glance behind you. And remember, it doesn't need to be a stare. A quick glance and back. Now this is probably one of my favourite skills and one I use the most on the bike, is being able to take one hand off the bars. It allows you to do so many things. You can do this, you can also do this, and even this. Although we wouldn't recommend doing the last two. Might get you in some trouble. So when it comes to practicing taking your hands off the bar, you want to start slow and easy. So you want to get up to a nice comfortable speed. The slower you go, the harder it can be. So at a speed you're comfortable with, and then take your hand off the bar a few seconds, put it back down. Keep doing that until you get a bit more confident. Then take it off for a bit longer, bring it a bit higher. Then when you get really confident, you can take it out to the side, reach down to your bottle, take a drink, put your hand in your back pocket, give someone a wave. World's your oyster. Now taking your hands off the bars becomes especially handy when you're on group rides, when you need to point out potholes, signal, and when you do long rides and you need to eat on the bike. And it's especially good if you're Italian and you need to speak on the bike. Another brilliant essential skill to have out on the bike is cornering. Now, you will struggle to go out on any ride without going around one of these things. They are everywhere. So learning how to corner correctly is going to make you so much more confident out on the bike, as well as safer. So our number one top tip for cornering would be look up and look where you want to go. It's so easy for when you go around corners just to stare down at your front wheel or stare into the corner. You want to look up at where you want to go. That way your bike and body will follow and it will make it so much easier. Another consideration to take in when cornering is your pedal position. Now, an easy way to remember this is if you're going around a right-hand corner, you want your right-hand pedal to be up and your left-hand pedal to be down, and vice versa if you're going around a left-hand corner. Now, if you do get this wrong and say you're going around a right-hand corner and your right-hand pedal is down, you do risk your pedal touching the floor, which could cause a crash, and we do not want that. Another great skill to have on the bike is being able to stand up and out the saddle. Now, this is great for you to mix up your position and when your bum gets a little bit sore, it's good to give it a little rest, and it enables you to get the maximum power out on the bike. So to be able to stand up out the saddle, you first want to think about your hand position. Now for me, the best place to have them when I'm standing out the saddle is on the hoods here, or you could have them on the drops. You don't really want to be on the top bit here as it'll make you a little bit unstable. Once your hands are in a nice comfortable position, you want to shift down a gear or two. Now, when you stand up out the saddle, you're going to be putting more pressure on the pedals. So if you did stay in that same gear, you might be spinning your legs a little bit too fast to maintain standing up out the saddle. So hands and gears sorted. Next thing, the actual standing up out the saddle. So when your most dominant foot, mine's my right, comes to the top of the pedal stroke, stand up out the saddle, nice and relaxed arms. You can have some movement in the bike underneath you. You just don't want to be too solid. Keep it nice and relaxed. Move the bike from side to side, nice and gently. And then when you're ready, just sit back down. Now, another skill we think you should learn is how to change gear whilst being clipped in. Now, this becomes essential when you've had to come to a stop all of a sudden and you're in a massive gear and you can't really pull off in that gear like I have done now. Now, there's two ways of doing this. You can start with one foot on the floor, one foot clipped in, and you can just pull your saddle up and change gear and then click down. Or you can apply pressure to the front brake, lean forward a little bit, and that'll bring your back wheel up, then pedal to change gear into the gear you want, put it back down, and you're ready to go.